Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Spider-Man. In the last part, Spidey and Venom teamed up, and now it's time for issue 5, The Invasion.
Here it is, the records room.
Surf the web, surf the web.
Shut up, Brock, we don't have time.
Parker, wait, could it be?
Could what?
Yes, we sense our other.
No, sense who?
It's our other, the symbiote known as Carnage. We must stop him.
Now?
Yes, now. We have no choice.
Great, make more noise. I'm only breaking and entering here. Spider sense tingling. Now what? Spidey, whoever's behind all this. Got symbiotes. These symbiotes must be looking for human hosts.
Plunging into battle with symbiotes other than Carnage and Venom? And hostages? Old Webhead's got his work cut out for him today.
Indeed he does. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Symbiotes, the worst enemy in the game. You thought the Lizardmen could deal out damage? You haven't seen these things. They can kill you in about 4 or 5 hits. Either way, you're going to notice I actually just webbed that switch there and released a hostage. That is our main goal for right now, to release all the hostages in this area. Because, you know, having several mini Venoms or Carnages would not be that good. Though admittedly, the Symbiotes aren't that bad aside from the fact that they, more or less, amplify all of our negative traits. But that just means a lot of people will be goofy and dance down the hallway all emo-like. That's not that bad, right? Right? But it's around now that the game does have a considerable difficulty spike because the symbiotes really do too much damage for their own good. Also, up here's the next comic book number 20, The Amazing Spider-Man number 42. Also, that fan does not hurt you, which is kind of strange, but I'll take it. Admittedly, in the early parts against the symbiotes here, it's not that bad because the level design is so flat you don't really have a choice but to fight them. But it's also very easy to fight them because you can escape them more easily. Later on in this part especially, the level design gets a lot more cramped with them, and that's kind of annoying. I actually remember the first time I got here, this wasn't me as a kid, this was about 2 years after my friend and I got stuck in that sewer level and just more or less gave up. I was stuck here for a bit because the symbiotes do a good amount of damage, as I mentioned. I mean, look at that. That's a good 1/5 of my health there alone. The best way to fight them is with the web gauntlets. At least that's for a method we have so far. And you need to really abuse that, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do a lot of damage. The impact webbing that I used against Venom does practically nothing. And obviously, you can't really grab them. You can do one thing I haven't really shown off much, though. And that's grab enemies. That's when you press, I think it's triangle and circle at the same time. You can grab an enemy. If you press square, you'll actually start punching them, which is a good way to get down their health, yes. Or you can kick them, which kicking is only really useful against them in a few instances. Either when you can kick them off a ledge or into something else we'll see later. Also, I forgot to free that second hostage, so I should probably do that. There we go. How's he gonna get out of that vent? That's not my problem. Either way, now that I've saved all the hostages and got slapped out of midair somehow, we can move on to the next section. And get used to seeing symbiotes, by the way. They're the enemy for the rest of the game. The game more or less goes through 3 enemy phases. Humans, lizardmen, symbiotes. And admittedly, symbiotes do have one thing that is going for us with them, is that they're actually very slow to get towards you, usually. So you should be good on avoiding them that way. However, I should warn you that they can jump up to the ceiling, and they can also, similar to the Lizardman, have a bit of a projectile shot that they shoot out of their mouth. However, theirs does a bit more damage, and also has a bit more range, I think, on it. Either way, now we're in what's in every beat-em-up game, an elevator section. What is with this obsession? However, this one actually does stop, and the elevator is actually how we break the giant gunk that is blocking our way, so we need to get the elevator activated. It's in the right doorway is the switch to activate it. Also, I should have mentioned, the human that was blocked off by the symbiote goop, like the stuff that's right on the screen right now, behind that in the last section of the level, in What If mode, he references aliens by screaming, "Game over, man!" I still have to see Alien 1. I've only ever seen Resurrection. Then again, I guess a lot of people would say I have to see Aliens as well, but damn it all, I'm focused watching other movies that I've seen 36 times already. My priorities are in order, I swear. Either way, coming up here, once we break through this next layer of goop, or did I already? I forget. You can just jump through the rest of it because there's nothing else to do. The door on the right is the exit, but I want to go through the door on the left because the next comic book is actually in there. Also, it's around now you're going to see me you're going to notice that whenever a symbiote's around, I kind of start playing like shit because I get too nervous and I start panicking. Either way, you just saw it on screen. There's comic book number 21, Amazing Spider-Man number 100. And now let's get out of this room because honestly, I do not want to be here right now because there's at least 3 symbiotes and that's not good. Go, Rod. Ah, got out of there. Sweet.
Printing press. A symbiote generator. So this is how the symbiotes are being created.
And new objective is to destroy every single one of these generators. It takes usually 2 to 3 shots on the things on the side. If you're playing easy mode, you only need to destroy one of them, and I think it goes down in maybe even 1 shot. This is more or less just another objective. However, we'll be getting a bit new technique to do here. Also, don't fall into the printing presses. They are instant kill. It's actually a pretty funny death, though, because Spidey gets hammered so deep into the paper he's a 2D image. I think it's almost an image ripped right out of one of the comics, too. The generators aren't much of a threat because they usually don't spawn symbiotes that quickly. However, the symbiotes they spawn are the big annoyance because, as you might have noticed, they do hurt, and I don't like being around them. Trying to think, isn't this like the only other time we've seen mass symbiotes aside from Venom and Carnage? I know Venom is like some sort of alien species, and we've gone into detail about him. That's what brought about Agent Venom, one of my favorite Marvel things, actually. But it's never been quite clear because it's very inconsistent. Like, sometimes Venom is lab-made, other times it's an alien, sometimes it's in between. Either way, underneath this little stack of paper is comic book number 22, Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Also, they just rolled toilet paper at me for some reason. And that right there is a magnesium web cartridge. It's a free web cartridge you get. It doesn't replace the one you have. It's pretty much an extra one. That adds magnesium to your pellets, which lights on fire. And one impact webbing on a symbiote with magnesium webbing is instant kill to them. This is the best way to deal with them by far. It is limited though. It's only for the one web cartridge you get. And if you get another magnesium web cartridge while you already have one, it just refills it. You don't get an extra one, sadly. Don't waste your webbing too much with them, and only go for the ones that are in your way directly. Also note, as you may have noticed, the web counts for everything. The magnesium webbing counts for everything, including swinging.
I gotta find out what's going on downstairs.
As I was saying, I've actually never used magnesium gauntlets, so I don't know if they do anything extra. They probably do, but it's better for me to use impact webbing. Either way, now we're in an underground section because we need to destroy more generators down here. There's a total of, I think, 2 down here, but they're a bit more out of the way, aside from the first one. First one's just to the left, however, don't go in there charging because that steam hurts. Ow! I see you there. Well, at least there's invincibility frames. Now, I'd recommend leaving this symbiote alive until after you destroy the generator because you don't want to get more in this cramped area. And after doing that, hit the switch that's in this room, right there. That'll cause this barrier to raise and lower. Press square and circle to grab, and then press circle to kick it into the fire, being an instant kill. That is the best way to deal with symbiotes in this area. However, a little secret, if you go into your aiming mode, you can actually swing up to the top of this furnace, because for some reason the Daily Bugle has furnaces like this, and get a free web cartridge, magnesium cartridge, and health. That's going to help you a lot here, because the magnesium cartridge will take care of more or less any symbiote you come across, because there's not many down here. There is nothing to the right, by the way, as far as I'm aware, maybe aside from some web cartridges, so just swing over. And now time for one of the most cryptic things in the game. See these steam vents? With your webs, you can block it off. And if we block off all 3, we get something. You have to wait until the reticule on the manual aiming is blue, but once we get it, well, we get something pretty good. It can be a bit precise as to where you have to aim. Sometimes you have to aim at the origin of the steam. Sometimes you have to aim right behind it. It's a bit odd. But for doing that, we cause the pressure to build up, and that thing explodes, giving us a new magnesium pellet, and comic book number 23, Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Also, you don't need to open up that thing that I just opened up. That's just for killing these 2, and I just murdered them anyway. Admittedly, fire is something I rarely ever see people use against the symbiotes nowadays in like cartoons and stuff. Usually, it's the weakness to sound. That I forget when that was introduced. I don't think it was Spider-Man 3 that introduced that, was it?
That's cool. It's a dry.
Bit odd, but I'll take it. I actually really should rewatch all the Raimi films. The only one I've seen in recent times is Spider-Man 1. And I do like Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3 is a bit of a guilty pleasure, because it does have some really good moments hidden amongst some of the shit. Especially anything with Sandman. The Sandman I didn't think was that bad in that movie, especially. From his birth scene to that really nice scene with him and Peter towards the end of the game. The movie was just really awesome. Pretty good on them for not wanting to set up another sequel after that, even though there were plans to have a fourth one with, I think, Mysterio or Vulture as the villain. Mind you, I'm just a Sam Raimi fan. Anything Evil Dead, the old Spider-Man trilogy, Darkman especially. I love that stuff. I really should rewatch Darkman with someone, because I love that movie. Either way, this is the last generator you have to take care of in this level, so just take care of it, and then walk back the way we came for our next little event to take place. This way!
Hey, the imposter! The imposter! Don't make me come after you. That's the guy who framed me, and the one who stole the technology. I gotta say, you look just like me, except you're more angry back alley than friendly neighborhood. Oh, for decades I've wanted to shut that mouth of yours. Finally, that time is upon me.
At last, I will crush you once and for all! Now, little spider, you will die!
Is it too late for us to be friends?
Darren Norris, your Cosmo, is showing.
Welcome to your nightmare, Spider-Man!
Welcome to what's both my most and least favorite boss fight in the game against everyone's favorite fishbowl, Mysterio. It's pretty easy in concept. You just have to shoot impact webbing at the 6 things, and, well, yeah, 6 things, and then he goes down. Takes 2 shots each 4 on hard mode. And each level of the arena has a different attack. Top, he grabs you. Second one, he slams down on you. Third one, he tries to stomp on you. And there is a 4th layer, but I rarely am ever down there long enough for him to attack. The first phase is not too bad, though the grab on the top level can get actually really annoying because he likes to spam that. And getting the right foot can be a bit annoying because I think you actually have to be in a certain direction for him to kick with a certain foot. Also, make sure you have a lot of webbing because you'll be using a lot of it here. Halfway through the fight, he gets a new life bar, but before we actually go back up there and fight him on the bottom level, there's a new comic book for us. Comic book number 24. Amazing Spider-Man number 311. And now time for the boss fight to go to shit. Because first off, these lasers can spam hit you, and it is annoying because you get basically no invincibility frames. You have to take out his little buttons there. I forget what those exact things are called when they're holding up a cape. 3 shots with those will take him down. And then after that, the boss fight gets really annoying because now he's trying to just grab me on a rotating platform of electricity. 3 more shots with web will take him down at this point, or maybe it's 4, I forget. But you need to be really good with your timing and make sure you have more web than I do, and hopefully more life. Because this was way too close for comfort.
Right now you're thinking, if only you'd taken that giant act to Vegas instead.
Curse your endless babble, Spider-Man!
Speaking of babble, let's hear it. Who's behind all this?
I'll never tell you! Mysterio may be defeated, but the symbiote invasion cannot be stopped!
Symbiote invasion? There are more of them?
You fool! There will be more than you can imagine! That fog which blankets the city is preparing everyone in New York for symbiosis!
You're the fool, Mysterio! Where? Where are they coming from?
Go then, on the waterfront. Warehouse 65. A secret passage. If only I could watch them destroy you.
Whoever your boss is, he's off his rocker! no one can control the symbiotes.
Correction! No one before now!
Spare me the propaganda, okay? This isn't a game, Mysterio. The symbiotes will destroy everything in their path unless I can stop them.
And with that, we are done with issue number 5, and now we're on to the final issue, issue number 6, To Trap a Spider.
I'm here, Frank. What's up?
Spider-Man's here, microchip.
What range?
100 yards, maybe. Easy shot.
Very funny, Frank.
Huh? He spotted me, but how could he? I lost him.
What happened?
He took out my scope.
Hey, tough guy. Sorry about that expensive lens, Punisher.
Something tells me we have the same objective here. That's the place. Warehouse 65. We can team up. You cover my back.
Huh. No thanks, Mr. Death Wish. I'd like to keep the body count low, if you don't mind.
Fair enough.
Punisher's guns can't solve this problem. Gotta play this one my way.
Ah, the cliché seedy waterfront warehouse. Although, I'm guessing that this particular warehouse has a bit more in store for the webhead than even he can imagine.
Oh, more symbiotes. Looks like the old Spidey luck is holding out. Looks like I'll have to clean this place up too.
And now we're on to the final level, which thankfully has plenty of magnesium carts all over the place, because you're going to need them, because most of the enemies in this level, in fact all of them, are symbiotes. Thankfully, this place is fairly wide open, so you have more than enough room to maneuver around them, though their projectile shots will likely still hit you. But one thing I'm surprised I haven't mentioned at this point, then yes, that is actually Stan Lee doing the narration for the beginning of every chapter. This was actually before he got known for doing cameos in like the movies and such. Before this, I think the only things he was in was the Trial of the Incredible Hulk back in the late '80s, and maybe the first X-Men. I know that was a 2000 movie, but I forget if this came out first or not. And which is kind of odd because that's not the first time he met Spider-Man. Yeah, he and Spider-Man had a bit of a crossover because Stan Lee was in an episode of the '90s series where he crossed over, where Spider-Man came to the real world and met his co-creator, which was odd because that's like meeting God in the middle of a Dunkin' Donuts. Either way, this level is actually really simple to start off with. There's a reason I'm actually showing this part of the final level off now and not later, and mostly due to time stuff because the final level is actually pretty lengthy. Or the final chapter, rather. And they also give you some spider armor before doing it, so make sure you grab that because having double defense around symbiotes, or an extra health bar around symbiotes rather, is rather useful, that's the word. But before you head down that hole, head over here because comic book number 25? 25, yeah, it's right there. Amazing Spider-Man number 129. Also, you might notice I am low on webbing. That could be potentially bad, but I'll see what happens when I record the finale. Also, they give you a random checkpoint here, even though you don't really need it. Because there's only one way you can die around here, and it's pretty hard to die to it in my eyes.
I like the concrete, the dripping water, very nice.
But once you're here, more or less, though, you're safe. The only thing, like I mentioned, that can kill you is actually coming up right here. There's a open fan right below you that will obviously kill you if you fall into it, but if you just know where to jump and then fall, you're good.
Looks like this is it.
Final part of the area is actually down there, but I want to skip it and go over here first, because over here is where the next comic book is. Comic book number 26.
Golden. I'm already at full health. This place blows.
Yeah, I get it. Either way, that comic book was Amazing Spider-Man number 15. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 6, we'll be finishing off the Symbiote Menace.
Geronimo!
See you guys then.